.org/help.
Starting off with action on the road. Westbound on 94, just past Mitchell Boulevard. We've got the left two lanes blocked with a crashed semi and a car facing the wrong way. It's just a mess, and it's solid all the way back through the Marquette, so give yourself that extra time. On the eastbound side, we've got delays from about 76th Street all the way through to Mitchell Boulevard. And northbound 43, slowing right around from Fond du Lac Avenue all the way up to Keefe. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, partly cloudy with a few afternoon pop-up showers, a high of 65 tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 52. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga, 94.5 ESPN.
Hey, this is Jen Latta. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. Showtime.
The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Because, Gabe, I imagine when you go to a restaurant, Gabe, and things aren't great, you're saying it was wonderful.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to return this.
You're returning used fruit?
Jerry, this peach is subpar.
If something's bad, I want to get out of there as soon as possible.
But are you going to let them know that it's bad so that they can improve it for the next person?
They're not going to improve
or are
anything.
You like,
once I put that fruit out, that's where it is for me.
What, it's still your fruit? You got to stand behind your fruit?
Hey, I stand behind my fruit.
So?
Hey, you got a bad peach? That's an active guy.
But I think you can say, and I have said, hold on, hear me out. I want you to hear the nuance in what I'm about to deliver. I did not enjoy it.
You know, this whole place is going downhill. I could have come in here last week with a bad plum, but I let it go.
Well, I had a perfect solution for you. Take your business elsewhere.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamara. Here's Jen Latta.
Running around, she wants to ride and she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like he wanna fight. He ain't doing nothing but running his mouth. Talk about it, we all about it. They making plans, we sit and count. Our chairs stacked just like
it's an embarrassment of riches kind of day here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. So much stuff to get to, all the things, all the players, all the topics, people talking yesterday at 12:65. We will get to all of it as the day goes on. But we want to start with Jaden Reed, who stepped in front of the cameras behind the microphones yesterday and talked about a situation that we talked about when it first popped. What was that, like 2 weeks ago at this point? Man, I think it was 2 weeks ago, ish. I can't keep track of time. Anyway, remember when Jaden Reed's agent, Drew Rosenhaus, clearly told Adam Schefter... Right? Let's just cut to the chase.
Yeah.
Clearly told Adam Schefter about the conversation he had with Brian Gutekunst, and there was some assurance that came out of that meeting that Jaden Reed was the number one wide receiver. And we were all going, ugh, that's interesting considering you drafted Matthew Golden, who we expect to at least compete for the quote-unquote wide receiver number one. So, Joshy, let's take a listen to Jaden Reed yesterday, how he explained that whole situation.
A lot of people misinterpreted that. Like, I hired a new agent, and we talked about it before even the draft, really, that, you know, he said that he was going to talk to, you know, the front office and everybody here to, you know, just catch up and make sure everybody on the same page. And as a new client, you know, he told me that's the way he was going to do it, and he did it. So, now, I don't know how I got out, because it was supposed to be confidential, but that's how it goes sometimes, you know. People get a different perception, and, you know, they make their own perception, which is okay. But that's how it goes sometimes. So,
Chewy, the call is coming from inside the house. This is a classic horror movie, right?
Yeah.
How did it get out? What do you mean, how did it get out?
I don't think Drew Rosenhaus says the word confidential in his life. Confidential, yeah. The problem is this, okay, with Twitter and X, it's like they're not under oath yet, you know? We were always under oath because there was no social media, anything. Anything that happened was either recorded by a reporter or it was on television. Now these, oh, no, wait a minute, I was misinterpreted on X. Come on. If my agent ever did anything like this without my permission, he would get his tail ripped.
What would you say?
Right? I'd say, what are you doing? You know? Don't do that. I mean, he would know. He would never do it. But, yeah, you can't forget that Jaden Reed, you're the boss. Drew Rosenhaus is not the boss. You are the boss. So if he told him to keep it confidential and he said he didn't mind it, was I right? Really couldn't understand him. Was he saying it was confidential, but I didn't mind it got out there?
Well, he didn't know how it got out there.
But it's okay.
Yeah.
The great irony here, of course, is that Drew Rosenhaus, by going to Brian Gutekunst and company et al., was trying to build trust with his client, Jaden Reed, right? He was trying to show, like, I've got your back. Look at how much I'm going to go to bat for you when a situation presents itself, right? Well, then by leaking it to the media, by telling Adam Schefter, who then reported it, that doesn't undermine it at all, Gabe? That, to me, is where I'm going, scratch head. I don't understand.
So did he, once this report came out, did he call up Drew Rosenhaus and go, Drew, how'd this get out? Man, your guess is as good as mine, Jayden.
Yeah.
My lips were sealed. Like, what is that conversation like? I mean, because the insiders of the world, the Adam Schefters, the Diana Rossinis, Ian Rappaports, like, it's obvious a lot of times where information is coming from. Like we talked about yesterday, the Matt Schneidman thing with the contract for Jair Alexander. Pretty obvious, if you read between the lines, that's coming from, the information's coming from the Packers side of things, because they're talking up about, oh yeah, this is definitely a contract that would show our interest in him. So it was pretty obvious that this was a report that didn't come from Brian Gutekunst, that didn't come from the Packers front office, where they called up Adam Schefter and went, hey, I just had a conversation with Drew Rosenhaus about Jaden Reed. No, that's coming from Drew. So, like, what do you mean you don't know where this is coming from? Like, you've been around. I mean, no, you're still in your rookie deal, man, but you gotta know how these things work.
That's what raised our eyebrows initially, right? What raised our eyebrows initially was the quote-unquote assurance that Jaden Reed was the number one guy, despite them going out and getting other weapons, other assets. Why in the world would Brian Gutekunst ever go on the record and say that? Why in the world that, even if he said it to an agent just to appease him, to get him off the phone, you know, some of these agents, and I'm not saying Drew specifically, are very long-winded. And sometimes you're like, you know what? Yes. Whatever we're discussing, yes. Just so that you can hang up the phone. I don't get that impression from Brian Gutekunst, and I certainly don't think, but I don't think that I don't think that he would then tell Adam Schefter, hey, you know what we did? We had a conversation with Drew Rosenhaus. We told him that his client, Jaden Reed's our number one guy.
No, I think that came from Rosenhaus.
Correct.
With Goody's track record on his BS, I totally think he said that.
Well, yeah, but
But Jen, just to what you said, appease him. Yeah, to appease him. Look what he said about Aaron Jones. Oh, yeah, we want him back. We're going to do whatever it takes. How about 30 cents?
But Goody's also, like, when Goody's up there talking, it's pretty obvious he doesn't want to be up there talking, right? Like, he wants to do as little media as possible. So I don't think that he would then reach out to a media member and be like, hey, guess who I just talked to, Adam? That doesn't seem like that fits Goody's MO either.
No, but you agree with me, Gabe, that there's a good chance he said it just to appease him.
Decent chance, sure.
But doesn't Goody strike you as a will have a chance to compete guy, quote unquote? Doesn't Goody strike you as he'll have a chance to compete?
He picks and chooses.
I mean, or Drew just heard him. Yeah, he's one of our guys. And because the word one was said, oh, he's the number one.
So let's spin this sucker forward, because that's what really matters. It appears as though Jaden Reed is handling it well. It appears as though this will not be something that affects the locker room, the dynamic of the locker room, because also Jaden Reed yesterday was very complimentary of Matthew Golden. That was the other thing that I took away from the availability. He was saying how Matthew Golden has come in this year more prepared, more up to speed than Jaden Reed did when he came in, Gabe.
Yeah, and Matt LaFleur was singing the praises of Jaden Reed and how he's helped Matthew Golden already, like outside of the building, and how those two have kind of made a connection, and how good Jaden Reed has been. They don't have a veteran receiver on the team. Everybody's still on the rookie deals, I guess, outside of McCole Hardman, who I'm still not sure is going to be on the team at this point. But Jaden Reed's kind of being that elder statesman of, hey, I've been here a couple of years. I can get this rookie up to speed so he can help us start winning football games. Like Jaden Reed's kind of taken on that leadership role, it seems, and it's been noted by his head coach.
Aren't you supposed to do that, though?
As the second-year guy?
Aren't you supposed to do that? Aren't you supposed to help youngsters along like that?
Well, sure, but usually that's I'm making more of a comment, Chewy, like there isn't really a veteran there. Right? Like veteran, I think, guy in a second contract, guy who's been through a number of different things, not guy going into year 3 trying to make that year 2 to year 3 leap, and now he's got to be the leader of that wide receiver room on top of it.
Yeah.
But that's more of what I'm saying. Like, good on Jaden Reed for somebody who's clearly got a lot on his own plate, somebody that has to figure out what went wrong in the second half of last year when he was not very good, when he wasn't getting touches, when he wasn't getting snaps. Okay, now I got to figure out a way to elevate my game while also bringing along this first-round draft pick. I think that's I don't think a lot of wide receivers do that.
It's great right now. This is the season of gush. And I guarantee if we went to Jacksonville's, what they're talking about in Jacksonville, it's the same thing. Oh, we love this third-round pick. He's a steal. He's great. It's the season of gush. Where it turns into a mess is when reps start being taken away from said individuals, right? And we saw a little example of that last year with Romeo Doubs. And that happens. I'm telling you, and I told you guys this story before. When Keith came in the 9th game of the year, and I was in a Pro Bowl year, and I was losing reps to Keith, and I remember a specific play in the red zone, they gave it to Keith instead of me, and I was pissed. I'm like, I've been here 9 weeks busting my rear end, and that's my route, and you give it to him, and then he dropped it in the game, and I was happy.
The other development yesterday that I think we should focus on is that Christian Watson.
You were happy?
Yeah,
you were happy
that's human nature. Yes, that's human nature.
He's told us that before. He's King Shartenfarter.
Well, yeah, but, I mean, did you tell anybody you were happy about it? Did you go to Andy and be like, yeah,
no,
good?
I probably told JT.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, who's JT?
Jeff Thomason.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wait, so was Thomason also kind of tight with Keith then? Was he like the intermediary? Like if Keith wanted to complain about you, did he go to JT?
No. Because Keith was, don't forget, Keith was, I was probably, 25? Keith was like 31, 32. So he was more the Reggie, Eugene Robinson, and then Jeff, I think, was a year younger than me. So we were just kind of minions. Jeff was my guy, man. Yeah. If I needed someone whacked, he'd do it for me.
Wait, he knows somebody that could do that?
Don't we all?
No.
Oh, that's right. You're from HorrorCon.
yeah. Who I know.
I'm not sure if you caught that, loyal listeners, but Chewy just said, don't we all know someone who would be willing to off someone for
Gabe.
us?
I mean, in HorrorCon,
Gabe,
do I know
let me just say this.
Do I know a couple guys in HorrorCon that are good with a sniper rifle from hunting? Yeah.
No.
Do I think they're going to take somebody out for me? No.
Gabe, the Marsh is a big place. Okay?
It is.
The marsh is a very big place.
Largest freshwater marsh in North America. Don't you forget it.
Maybe we should get away from plotting executions here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy and get back to the wide receiver room where I did, Chew, want to note that Christian Watson was there, not participating in drills yesterday, but apparently is, quote-unquote, ahead of schedule in his ACL surgery, which leads me to ask you, do you think the Packers will have their full lineup of wide receivers at the end of the season?
Yes. How effective he will be, I don't know, because he's an average route runner at best. It's how quickly he can get over the mental stuff, and the mental stuff's real. It's tough, when it's not practice. It's getting into a game because, as we all know, game speed is quite a bit faster than practice. So that the mental part's going to be the tough thing for him. Putting that thing in the ground and cutting off of it, that takes time.
Well, kind of that first hit you get on it too, right?
Yeah. It's just, what's the weirdest thing is? It's being around bodies.
So if he's like blocking around a pile?
Yeah, it's just like you feel really, really, because I remember with my PCL, I'm like, I had a brace on, and I'm like, oh, this is very uncomfortable. So mentally, that's going to be the challenge.
How would you use Christian Watson? Let's say he gets back to form, which again is a big if. Let's say he gets back to form, and you've got his blazing speed, and then you've got Golden's blazing speed. He's even faster, 4.2. How would you use those two? Would you use them together, Chew? Would you have packages where they're both on the field?
Yes, but you know what I would do before that, Jen? I would sign him to an extension.
Christian.
I would sign him, yeah.
What would you offer?
I would say, look, we want you around here. We will, I don't know, what's a fair number, you think?
Well, that's what I'm curious, because we've been discussing how the Packers like to lowball on these things.
Yeah, but he's not going to have enough time to really, because my guess is he'll be limited time, he'll be limited catches. Free agency, I mean, who's really going to, is he a 1-year type deal, a 2-year? I would throw, I don't know, 3 years, $30 million, $18 million guaranteed, see if he takes it, even before he steps on the field. I mean, I think
that seems relatively fair when you think about some of the other deals, like when MVS left and the deal that he got in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not concerned about injuries? I only bring this up because we spent a long time yesterday talking about Jair Alexander and the fact that he has not been available for the team because of health concerns, year in and year out. Christian Watson also has been unavailable. You're not concerned at all that you would give him that extension, even if it was, like you said, sort of a sweetheart deal, and then he would not be available, that these injuries would sort of continue to follow him and plague him?
I think he matured last year, Chew, because that's something you talked about. Like, okay, I think of the play, but it's probably 2023 when he took the big hit, and then, Christian Watson is questionable return with a hip, head, and knee injury, right? Like, it was like 3 or 4 different things, and everyone's like, what? And then he ends up playing the next week. Or, he's got the hamstring injury. I think the hamstring and the soft tissue stuff is past him. He played 15 games last year.
Yeah.
And it was just unfortunate that in that 15th game, he ended up, tweaking the hammy. If you get 15 games out of Christian Watson every year, I think that contract would be well worth it.
No, I think he matured, and I talk about that with young players. They have to learn there's a difference between being hurt and being injured. And him going to a smaller school, North Dakota State, where he was the stud on the team and probably could do whatever he wanted. He had to learn how to play in the NFL, like I said, between injury and hurt. And he's a great locker room guy. They all seem to love him. And, I mean, if you throw 10, 12 million, I would like him on the roster.
This feels like a buy low, sell high thing. Wait.
Yes.
Yeah. Buy low, sell high. Yes. Josh is over there going, yes, Jen. Yes, Jen. That's what it is. Don't derail yourself. Because obviously right now, Christian Watson doesn't feel like he has a lot of leverage. Feels like the Packers would have all the leverage if they decide to go.
Yeah, coming off an injury like that, absolutely.
Back to the well. I kind of like this, Chew. I kind of like this idea. Let me work through it. What did you say, Joshy?
I don't like Joshy's attitude.
I said to go to a break.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, you said it very like, I can't believe we're talking about
I
this.
actually thought you said Jeff Levering. And I was like, Jeff Levering?
You said work to break.
Wow, that is wild.
Josh, do you like
do you
do you
think
like
he
my
said
idea?
That over the air? Did you just pull a Chewy?
No, I knew he said it in my ear,
okay.
but I was also like, do we have Jeff Levering coming up on the show? How the hell did I miss that? 800-990-3776. Yeah, absolutely. Always welcome here on the program. We got to get to Jason Wilde, but I want to put this out there to the loyal listeners because Chewy brings up a good point. Should the Packers extend Christian Watson, maybe right this moment, but in the next few months, is that something that you would like to see the Green Bay Packers do as sort of a buy low, sell high move? Let us know, 800-990-3776. Let's get to Jason Wilde right after this on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
We had an earlier accident on westbound 94 right about at Mitchell Boulevard. That has now been cleared, so all the lanes are reopened. Unfortunately, the damage is done. We've got big delays all the way back through the Marquette in all directions. Something to keep in mind. On southbound 41, slowing from Silver Spring all the way down to Burleigh. Northbound 43 is backing up from Fond du Lac Avenue all the way up to Keefe. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, partly cloudy skies, a few afternoon pop-up showers, a high of 65. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 52. Weather is brought to you by Infinity Exteriors. When storms hit, out-of-town roofers come and go. Infinity Exteriors has been local and trusted since 1997, and they stand behind every job. Visit infinityexteriors.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
This just in, the NFL schedule has dropped, and you know what that means. It's go time. Adam Schefter here with the Insider Tip. If you're trying to catch your team live this season, Vivid Seats is the move. For the best selection of games and seats, it's time to snap your tickets up now. Vivid Seats has great deals on great seats and the only rewards program in the game. It's no wonder they're the official ticketing partner of ESPN. So don't wait. Head to vividseats.com or download the app and lock in those game days.
Progressive knows when you're on your boat, you're already on vacation. And Vacation You forgets all your worries. Vacation You doesn't even keep track of time and knows that time is a meaningless construct designed to control us, man. But Regular You knows you don't want to be too far out in the water after the sun goes down because Vacation You doesn't know how to navigate in the dark yet. Vacation You and Regular You really need to get on the same page. So bundle your boat with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
With 18 unforgettable holes on 250 acres of natural private land, The Bog provides the ultimate golf experience. To book your next tee time, call 262-284-7075 or visit golfthebog.com. Enjoy golf. Enjoy The Bog.
Hey, it's ESPN Milwaukee's Brad Nortman. A big focus in America today is your health. And you can't be fully healthy if you are not physically mobile to do the things you want to do. If you're someone that keeps on experiencing that joint pain, then you need to visit QC Kinetics. When I go to QC Kinetics' Greenfield location, I am amazed at everything that they have to give you your life back and finally fix that pain that you're experiencing. Everything they do is top of the line. From the free consultation where you can get an ultrasound of your joints and see what is nagging you in real time, to the effective and long-lasting treatments of PRP and stem cells that they offer to give you long-lasting pain relief. Be one of the tens of thousands of other patients who now have a pain-free life because of the treatments they received at QC Kinetics. Call QC Kinetics today for your free consultation. 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474.
Bikers need protection, not just from other drivers, but unfortunately from insurance companies too. We've been fighting for injured bikers and their families for more than 30 years. Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
Ready, down, hunt. All Packers, all the time.
He was a field-tilting player, and the reason why Gabe and many others are so concerned is that this guy's on the field, he changes the offensive dynamic. They are a different offense when he is there.
Okay, most of the time.
You know, Homer calls Matt LaFleur soft all the time. Matt LaFleur is like Vince Lombardi compared to me.
It's Jason Wilde on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
To walk us through everything going on at 1265 than our friend and teammate Jason Wilde. Good morning, Jason.
Good morning, Jennifer. I don't want anything misrepresented or misinterpreted over here, all right? So let's be on top of things.
Okay.
Next question.
Well, that also is a Rosenhaus thing,
that
isn't it?
Yes.
Very good.
With
Very
T.O.?
good. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Great reference.
Very
Great
good by
reference.
you.
I don't know how you remember that kind of stuff and can't remember what you had for breakfast, but that's another conversation.
That's a fair question, Jason.
Well, I believe we know the answer to that one as well, but in the words of Chewy and Drew Rosenhaus, next question. What was your biggest takeaway from yesterday's availability?
Super Bowl or bust, baby. That's what my takeaway was.
Really?
Yeah, I was. I'm not kidding. I asked Jordan Love because, look, LaFleur gave me grief because I asked the question that I was planning on asking all along, which is what does Jordan Love need to do to elevate his game and elevate this team, besides, obviously staying healthy after what he went through last year. And, LaFleur, kind of gave me a hard time, which I am totally fine with. We have a great working relationship. But it was I was irritated by the attempt to dodge the question by poking fun about something about my physical specimen that I am or whatever. And so I didn't laugh. I didn't give him the courtesy laugh. And then I came right back at him and said, no, really, like, he's in year 3. Despite the injuries, I think Jordan would say he needed to be better too. What does he need to do? And, he never wants it to be just about the quarterback. But as everyone knows, it's not just about the quarterback, but it's a lot about the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And so then when I asked Jordan about it, again, this is why I like Jordan so much. Like, he's not an excuse maker. He's not a deflector. Like, did the injuries affect him? Yeah, I'm sure. His answer was basically sure. I mean, I'm sure it did in some way, but if I'm out there, I should be judged on how I play. And I respect the hell out of him for that, because not everyone operates that way. And, there's a lot of players that are always looking for a way to kind of shirk the criticism and responsibility. And then, I said, look, I know it's not fair to you to constantly compare you to the other guy. I said, but this in year 3 as a starter, these guys won the Super Bowl with Rodgers. And now you're going into year 3. In what ways do you need to elevate your game and elevate this team? And I thought he was great. Like, he immediately embraced the Super Bowl thing, which, if you remember, like, Chewy was on the team where Favre did that. Sometimes it worked out, sometimes it didn't. But, I've always found it interesting that when somebody says that, it's like a headline item. Well, that's the goal, and that should be your expectation. And so in talking with him about that, and then talking to Josh Jacobs about it and Xavier McKinney, like, there is definitely a vibe, and it could be misguided, but there is definitely a vibe with these players who I hadn't gotten to talk to since basically the end of the season and locker room cleanout, that they really do think that they have what it takes. Now, they're going to have to get some breaks. They're going to have to stay healthy, all those things, but they're not taking a back seat to anybody. I'm hearing Mike McCarthy's voice in the back of my head saying, we're nobody's underdog. And we'll see if that ends up being the case, because they got a hard schedule and there's a lot of good teams in their conference.
Jason, I floated out first segment. I think they should sign Christian Watson to a 3-year fair deal, just because I don't think Watson's going to have a lot of leverage. 10 or 12. Fair? 10 or 12, 18 guaranteed. But, Jason, you remember back in the day Ron would do it? He'd find a player that was good who maybe had 2 years left on his deal, and he'd throw some guaranteed money at him, a fair deal, and he just jumped the gun on them before they got the free agency. It's kind of like Jackson Cheerio, What a great signing that is. Why doesn't
Well, now that he's drawing walks, from what I understand.
We don't have to get into that, please.
Yeah, come on. That was good. I thought that was pretty good.
I mean, it was funny. Look, Jason, is it funny? Yes. Am I annoyed by that entire situation? Yes, I am. I'm also annoyed by the entire situation.
Both things can be true. I get you.
But like Jason, Zach
Chewy,
Tom, I would have signed Zach. I would have gave Zach Tom an offer last year that maybe $14 million a year.
All right.
He doesn't do that.
Wait. All right. Hold on, old timer.
I got you.
All right. First of all,
get Gabe mad at us again.
Exactly, because that's not a place I want to. I'm already on the bad side of Keith/Mark. So first of all, they can't sign extensions in year 3. That's a change from when you were a player with the collective bargaining agreement, because of we've basically eliminated restricted free agency. The only restricted free agents now are guys that came into the league as undrafted free agents. And so back then, in year 3, with a guy that was going to be a restricted free agent, if you really liked him, you could totally get a deal done with him. So your idea is not flawed. The rules just don't allow for it, okay?
Oh, I didn't know that.
So like Jaden Reed, for example, who I'm sure we'll get to, is not eligible for an extension until after the 2025 season ends. But in Zach Tom's case, I personally, and again, I would be a terrible GM, so you can take this with a very large grain of salt, but I would have made him an offer right after the season ended because he had not played at the highest level that he had played the previous year, even though Pro Football Focus graded him high. He was third in the right tackle voting for All-Pro. I would have tried to get him, with the whole, and it's a push-pull. You know this. You don't maximize your value if you sign early, but you get security that you're protected in case something bad happens. Instead, they went the other way and said his job is open for competition. So I agree with you. I'm just telling you that you would have had to do that not like down the stretch of last season, but after the season ended.
All right, you want to talk about Jaden Reed? Let's talk about Jaden Reed. When he called Drew Rosenhaus to try to figure out where this report that Adam Schefter had a couple weeks ago came from, what do you think Drew said?
I don't have any idea. I think it was that Mark Shimura guy.
But in all seriousness, Jason, I guess I like the way that he kind of handled that whole thing outside of the who knows where this came from. And it seems like the way LaFleur talked about him with a lack of actual veteran leadership in that room because everybody's still on their rookie deals. Is he kind of emerging as that leader, or am I buying into, as Chewy would say, the gush too much?
The gush. Look, first of all, let's call this what it is. The agent, who may or may not have been the source, clearly miscalculated what the public perception and reaction would be, right? I mean, he's just Drew Rosenhaus is a great agent. Like, he is billions upon billions of dollars in contracts. On this, he was wrong. Now, I would argue that there is nothing wrong, in my opinion, with wanting your role clarified. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're a baby and a morning radio host is going to say, I'm not playing. But what it does mean is that if it gets out there, and we all know what happened here, right? I mean, Drew Rosenhaus wanted to look good, so he told Adam Schefter. Adam Schefter reported it, and then Adam Schefter's on your show. And look, this is not a disrespect to him. He is great at what he does, but very rarely do you try to walk back your own story, which is clearly what he tried to do because they did not see the fallout coming in Drew Rosenhaus's office. So then Jaden Reed is put in the position yesterday. He knew, I mean, he had an opening statement. Y'all have been waiting for me to talk, haven't you? Yeah, we have, with good reason. And we all kind of chuckled at the idea of he didn't know where it came. I don't know how it got out. That was supposed to be confidential. I don't have a problem with him wanting to clarify his role, okay? That said, it is how does he handle this moving forward? And I'm sorry. Again, I really like him. We have a great working relationship. I think he's a smart, engaging guy who's a natural leader. He has led them in receptions and yards each of the first 2 seasons he's been there. He ain't no bum. He ain't a slouch. He's a good player. That said, it's great that he said, well, I don't care about targets. If I get 2 targets and we win, I'm fine with that. That doesn't bother me. Okay, you're not the first person to say that. What if you get 2 targets and you lose? What if you get 2 targets over a 5-game stretch? Like, I'm sorry, you're not going to be okay with it. And by the way, you shouldn't be because you're a competitor, right? And as I said to him when we were going back and forth, I was like, that's great that you're okay with not getting targets in a win, but like, doesn't this team have a better chance of winning if you get more targets? Which, yes, is the answer, right? So I thought he handled it the way he needed to. I had no problem with anything he said, but if any wide receiver tells you that they don't care about targets, they're saying that because it's what they're supposed to say. It's not what they feel in their heart of hearts. And maybe for a game or 2, they're okay with it, but for an extended period, they are in no way okay with it. And I will tell you this, and I am convinced of this because Matt LaFleur said it, and it was one of the more honest things I've heard him say, that he believes that they did not do Jaden Reed any favors by putting him in positions where he got the crap knocked out of him. and I keep thinking about, and Gabe, I know you remember this play. They run an end around in the low red zone. I can't remember if it was a pop pass or a jet sweep, but he comes around the right side and just gets walloped. And the point that LaFleur was making was, look, we need him to not be banged up. And he was clearly banged up down the stretch. And then he suffers that shoulder injury that took 4 months to heal in the playoff game. He is not built like Devontae Adams. He's not built like Jordy Nelson. They have to find ways to make sure they're not putting him in position to absorb those type of hits. Let Savion Williams, who's 6'3", 220, do that. And make sure you choose your spots. Still get him the targets, still get him the opportunities, but don't put him in harm's way as often as they did.
Jason, before we let you go, I saw a report that said that Gregory Jr., former sixth-round pick, played just one snap of defense, got some time with the first-team defense in the nickel. Do you think we'll see him out there in the nickel this season with that defensive back group?
Yeah, I am, and this is not you. This is, and I don't know who posted that. Like, everybody got time with the ones yesterday. Seriously,
that is very good information.
Right? So they're rotating all the guys. Like the first snap on offense, the very first offensive 11-on-11 snap, the wide receivers were Bo Melton and Romeo Doubs, and they were in two tight ends. Like, there is no bigger fan of Bo Melton except maybe Wes Hodkiewicz than me. But Bo Melton is not their number one wide receiver, right? So they rotated all those guys through. Every single wide receiver, because they did the two-spot thing where they've got one group at one end of the field being led by Sean Clifford and Malik Willis and Taylor Elgersma. And then they got the other end where it's Love. And so, like the wide receivers down at the other end, the only guy of import was Savion Williams, and he was in a red jersey, so he must be dealing with some sort of injury. But all those guys rotated through with Love. On defense, they rotated all the safeties. Even Zane Anderson worked with the ones alongside McKinney at one point. So my point is yeah, maybe Junior is going to be in the mix. Kalen King got some snaps with the ones too. So I think they're just getting looks at everybody, and that may very well be the case. He's a fascinating story, Junior is. But, one OTA practice, you notice I don't do a whole lot of tweeting because I don't want, my biggest issue with this, and I know we got to go, but they practiced. Their first practice was Tuesday, and LaFleur actually told us yesterday he wasn't happy. He was pissed, and he got after them for it, right? If that had been the practice we had been at, certain player X and player Y might have had great days, and then yesterday, if we weren't there, those same guys could have been terrible, and vice versa. And so I'm always leery, unlike back in the old days when I was at every single OTA practice and I could give a more complete picture. I'm always leery of saying too much based on the one practice I got to.
Jason, just one really quick, while we're on complaining about targets. How
you're
was
the
Romeo...
one screwing up the clock.
I know, but I wanted to get this in. How was Romeo Doubs' attitude?
He was not among the players we got to talk to because they're renovating the locker room, so we got brought players instead of getting to choose players. He was one of the people I would have liked to have talked to. He looked fine. He didn't look like he was frumping or was disengaged with his teammates. So I think, again, I would say this if Romeo was sitting in the studio with you guys at the Avenue or if he was standing in my laundry room with me right now, dude, go out there and ball the F out. Mm-hmm. You're going to get paid next year if you do that. It may not be by these guys, but you're going to get paid because you are a good player. And I would just say whatever feelings you have, LaFleur has a sign that he put up in the room that says standards over feelings, which I clearly would not be able to handle, but Romeo needs to because he's got an opportunity here.
Jason, we appreciate you. Have a great one. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right, guys. Take care. Be good.
Jason Wilde can be heard on Wilde and Tausch right after Jen, Gabe, and Chewy each and every morning here on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee. We will take a break. Roll right on right after this.
Summer is right around the corner. It means a lot of things. One thing that I'm really excited about, I think everybody gets excited about this time of year, Summerfest. And did you know if you buy $25 worth of participating items at Pick and Save and Metro Market stores, you can get 2 free Summerfest tickets? Did you also know that includes Palermo's family brands of pizza? Think of all those different brands of pizza that's included in those $25 of items. So stock up on your Palermo's favorites today and then go enjoy Summerfest. It's a summer feast, and it's happening right now at your local Pick and Save and Metro Market stores. For more information, visit pickandsave.com.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Westbound 94 still going to be backed up in all directions out of the Marquette all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. Actually, take that all the way to Hawley Road as the delays dissipate from that earlier accident at Mitchell Boulevard. Still going to be there, though. It's going to be slow. Northbound 43 backing up from before Fond du Lac Avenue all the way to Keefe. Southbound on 41 still heavy from just south of Appleton Avenue all the way down towards Burleigh, with the northbound side slowing just before Mayfair Road up to Burleigh. Traffic is brought to you by Racine Danish Kringles. Order Dad Kringle for Father's Day at Kringle.com. Have it shipped right to Dad, Kringle.com. Racine Danish Kringles, not just a treat, it's a tradition. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, partly cloudy skies, a few pop-up afternoon showers, a high of 65. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 52. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
I'm Monica Kessler.
Monica makes sure that everything at Kessler's is worthy of a lifetime warranty.
The quality of your ring is incredibly important when it comes to diamond setting, ring sizing, and repairs.
Monica has been part of Kessler's since she was 6 years old.
Let me tell you how to judge the quality of the jewelry you're buying.
It's easier than you think.
All you have to do is read the warranty.
Most stores offer a 5-year warranty, but Kessler's offers a lifetime warranty, the strongest in the world.
We can do it because we put more gold in your jewelry.
When a jeweler wants to make a bigger profit, they put less gold into the jewelry. This makes it thinner and easier to break.
Theirs might look like ours at first glance, but Kessler's jewelry is made not to break, and that takes more gold.
We give you a lifetime warranty because our jewelry is made to last forever, just like your love.
Gold is more than $2,000 an ounce.
Kessler's gives you more gold, a lot more gold.
For the location of the Kessler's nearest you, go to KesslersDiamonds.com.
Smalls here. It's time to turn things up a notch. This summer, don't binge watch shows. Binge s'mores by the campfire. Press pause on the podcast and press play on the warm weather vibes. Here's your chance to win $10,000 for your ultimate summer. What are you waiting for? Take your shot with 5-Hour Energy and make this summer your best summer ever. Visit 5heshot.com for full details and rules and enter today. No purchase necessary. Ends June 30th, 2025.
This is Jim. Jim's a contractor. Hi. Jim can't really talk or do much to grow his contracting business because Jim's buried under invoices, schedules, and service requests. Right, Jim? Right. Jim needs help. Help! Jim needs Service Titan, the all-in-one software for the trades. We've made it easier than ever for contractors to free themselves from day-to-day paperwork. Oh, wow. Switch your current solution for Service Titan, the best software in the trades, today. Learn more at servicetitan.com.
This just in, the NFL schedule has dropped, and you know what that means. It's go time. Adam Schefter here with the Insider Tip. If you're trying to catch your team live this season, Vivid Seats is the move. For the best selection of games and seats, it's time to snap your tickets up now. Vivid Seats has great deals on great seats and the only rewards program in the game. It's no wonder they're the official ticketing partner of ESPN. So don't wait. Head to vividseats.com or download the app and lock in those game days.
You've probably heard of speed dating, but what if there was something similar for hiring, especially if you're running a growing business? There is Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. You can post your job today and talk to interested qualified candidates tomorrow. Simply select a time, and Zip Intro finds and schedules qualified candidates for you. Then you can choose who you'd like to connect with and meet and greet people through back-to-back video calls starting as soon as the next day. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/USL. That's ZipRecruiter.com/USL.
You're listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
The source
What's a click below dumb?
You. No. Above.
Whoa.
That's fine. No, that's what I was getting
Good
at.
pop. Good pop.
I know.
Unnecessary.
I'm not dumb. I'm one click below dumb. We need to find out what that word is.
Don't you want to be one click above dumb?
Oh, that's right. I'm one click above.
On 94.5 ESPN.
From the court to the classroom and the community, the Champions for Literacy celebration with Dwayne Wade and Travis Diener will be an evening you don't want to miss. Join Wade and Diener June 27th at the Garage at Harley-Davidson Museum. Make an impact by raising funds for literacy. Get tickets and full event information right now. WadeVersusDiener.GiveSmart.com. That's WadeVersusDiener.GiveSmart.com.
I'm talking to myself.
Quarterback Jordan Love also spoke yesterday, and, he did address the first pitch that we discussed, which he said he didn't get any warm-ups, gang. Didn't warm up at all. Was too busy talking to the guys, chit-chatting in the clubhouse.
What are your priorities? You want to throw a strike or not?
I'm with you.
I'm just saying.
You're not going to get any.
I mean, if that's the excuse you want to lie about Jordan, fine. But you could have had that opportunity.
To this day, Chew, Dario will tell the story of when I threw out the first pitch at the White Sox game all those years ago and how we were warming up in the tunnel, as one does. I was so geeked up, right? Chinged up, but not the ching, that I threw it way over his head on the first one. And he goes, okay, calm down. Okay, relax. But you got to get that out, right? You got to get the nerves, the adrenaline throw out of the way so that when you go out there, you can actually throw a good one. That is not what I want to talk about when it comes to Jordan Love, however. I want to talk about how he reacted to questions about him taking a step back from year one to year two. Take a listen to the quarterback.
I mean, what is a step back is what I'd ask, you know what I mean? Everybody has different opinions, things like that. You know, you got to block that stuff out. So it's all about the goals of the team at the end of the day. You know, I'd say we won more games than we did the year before. So that's why I ask people, what is a step back? So everybody has opinions, things like that. Try and block that out and just focus on doing me, being the best player I could be, like I've talked about, and go forward. But at the end of the day, you know, personal stats, things like that, that's all in the back. You know, you got to focus on the goals of the team first and foremost.
Is that the most agitated he's been or he's going to get?
I mean, I thought he was – I didn't think agitated was not a word that came to my mind when I was listening to that.
Well, he was questioning what's a step back.
Which I would have asked, just so you know, a follow-up would have been, well, how would you define a step back?
Yeah, well, after that, my follow-up would have been, okay, do you need to play better for this team to win even more games this year?
Well, be careful. Yesterday when I said that Jordan Love needs to play better, somebody jumped all over me in the YouTube comments and was like, what was the point of saying that? Jordan Love needs to play better. I don't know.
Because he needs to play better? Okay.
Thank you, Chew. I appreciate that.
Jeez, I'm crow. Really? Last year's play is going to get us to a Super Bowl?
Thank you. That is exactly correct.
Mm-hmm.
Last year's play will not get this team to a Super Bowl. 100% all in agreement.
I don't know. I just read it as he didn't really like the question, but he needs to realize that, yeah, your personal stats are only going to make the team stats better. I'm sorry.
Well,
That's
and
just
then
the way it works.
the next layer of that, Chew, was that when he was asked about whether or not the injuries played a role in his performance last year, he sort of dismissed that as well, saying basically like, oh, I'm never going to use injuries as an excuse. So even in answering it that way, there was a way that he was saying he recognizes he needs to play better. He wasn't willing to say that the reason he played at the level he did was because he was dealing with the injuries as consistently as he was, Gabe.
Which I like. I don't like using that as an excuse, and I've said this a lot throughout this offseason on the show. Okay, there is a learning curve of how to, and sure, you've talked about this, playing through those injuries. Okay, now you've done that. Now, year 3, if you're a little dinged up, you still have to find a way to play at an incredibly high level. It's what Favre did. It's what Rodgers does. It's what Patrick Mahomes has done. It's what Josh Allen. If you want to be a great quarterback in this league, it's about navigating those injuries and still finding a way to be highly productive. So, hey, I'm willing to look past some of the stuff you dealt with last year because you probably came back a little bit sooner than maybe you should have in order to come back from that knee injury as early as you did. And obviously, I think everybody loves that you're willing to play through that. But then you can't throw 3 interceptions in that game. right? You can't throw the crucial interception when you're trying to have this huge comeback.
Well, the thing we see is 2 years ago, how the second half of the season he was unbelievable. So we know that is in there. And if he plays like that an entire season, now all of a sudden you're a top 5 quarterback. You're not 12, right? So that's the standard. I'm sorry. It just is. You're making $50 million a year. Play like it, right? The number $50 million a year, whatever he's making, does not equate to number 12. That should be, like I said, 5, 6, 7. That's where we expect you to be.
Yeah. And
fair?
Yeah, no, I think that's completely fair. Because he is one of those guys, when we talk about guys stepping up and playing and being a star and being a stud, when we talk about Jordan Love, yes, we love him here. How many defensive coordinators that the Packers are going to play going into the season are going, man, we got to make sure we got something good for Jordan Love? How many defensive coordinators are really fearful right now of Jordan Love?
None. None.
And that's got to change.
That's you know how that changes, though. How that changes, they got to use his legs. They got to use his legs, right? You want opposing defenses to spy a quarterback.
Yeah, but
that's what you want.
But he's not that type of athlete, Chew.
Well, he's got it because he's dainty.
No.
It's in there, Gabe.
Well,
it's in there.
Yeah, but he had like 250 rushing yards the year before. Like, again, his athleticism, he's not Tom Brady. He's more Aaron Rodgers. And teams weren't spying on Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
he could take off. He could take off from time to time
with his legs.
Yeah, he could take off from time to time, but you're not going to waste an asset on spying Aaron Rodgers.
But Gabe, the big deficiency they had last year on offense, I believe, was third down efficiency. They were not tops in the league. I don't believe. And they should be. You have to be, because that extends drives. Not only does it extend drives, it keeps your defense off of the field. And this defense is fine. But fine is not going to get to where you want to go. The offense has to be clicking.
So let's pick a metric, guys. Let's pick a metric here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy for Jordan Love. Last season, he was 61.3 completion rate, 96.7 passer rating, 25 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. I think we should pick a metric. Maybe it's all the way across there. We pick, what completion percentage he needs to have, what passer rating he needs to have, how many touchdowns, how many picks in order to be an elite quarterback, in order to be top 6 quarterback. Because, again, yesterday we talked about the top 4. There's like a Mount Rushmore right now in the NFL at the quarterback position. Maybe Jalen Hurts is, Mount Rushmore 0.1. But if you want your guy, Jordan Love, to be in the top 6, what metric, what numbers do you think, what stats does he need to reach this season in order to be there? Let's take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy and discuss that right after this. I want to know what you think he needs to throw. Is it completion percentage? You got a certain completion percentage in mind. By the way, he had a 70.3 completion percentage the season before when he had that ridiculous finish to the 2023 season. Do you need him to be there? Up over 70. 800-990-3776. Let us know on the Carbless talk and text line. Whether you're a local who wants to enjoy a night out or you're planning to visit Milwaukee, you can enjoy an artfully stylish experience at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. It is located in the theater district of downtown Milwaukee. Deluxe accommodations, culinary creativity, on-site art galleries, artists in residence, and nightly live music. So you'll enjoy every element of your stay at St. Kate. Learn more and book your stay at stkatearts.com. That's stkatearts.com.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
Forget average. At Exterior Pros, they bring the heat. They're not here to meet standards. They're here to smash them. From the first swing of the hammer to the final reveal, they're leveling up your home with every window, every shingle, and every single detail. This isn't just a remodel. It's a glow up for your house. Built tough, built beautiful, built to turn heads. Want in? Let's go. Lock in your project now and save $3,000. Exterior Pros, where bold meets built. Trust the pros and visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274.
Brewers and Padres action is coming at you June 6th through the 8th. Catch an electric weekend of baseball as 2 of the game's youngest superstars square off. The first Friday game of June means Wisconsinites can grab half-off tickets to the Brewers Series opener on the 6th, then score one of the top giveaways of the season, a Jack Centurio replica jersey presented by Chevrolet for the first 25,000 ticketed fans through the gates June 7th. Get seats at Brewers.com.
That's the ease at which you get information. You want it, you get it. Like that. Ask your phone. Group chat. Smartphone. You're always connected and informed in real time. No waiting. So if you're diabetic and still using finger sticks to read your blood sugar, what are you waiting for? Knowing your blood sugar levels instantly is important for managing diabetes. Call US Med at 888-665-0696. To learn more about continuous glucose monitors, a real-time instant method to track your blood glucose, US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 1,000 private insurers. And the best part? Call 888-665-0696 and we'll give you a free insurance benefits check today. So call 888-665-0696 today. That's 888-665-0696 and manage your diabetes as easy as...
Stay up to date on the Green and Gold all off season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
Turn those hoop dreams into reality with Precision Sports, your one-stop shop in southeastern Wisconsin for Mega Slam, Ironclad, and Dominator basketball hoop systems, installation of new or old hoops, and completely customizable painted court lines. PrecisionSportsOnline.com.
If you're trying to get through your daily activities and you're noticing you can't because you're focusing more on your pain than being able to enjoy the moment, those are the patients that we're looking to treat because we can make a difference.
That's Dr. Ashley Caravelli, Milwaukee's medical director for QC Kinetics.
What we're doing at QC Kinetics is offering treatments that help with joint preservation. We use cutting-edge technology in our in-house lab to harness your body's natural healing powers and target the areas where you need them the most.
These are regenerative, non-surgical treatments, and QC Kinetics is the nation's leader, delivering lasting relief to tens of thousands of patients.
What we do know is that the sooner we start treatment, the sooner you'll see relief.
So don't wait another minute. See if you're a good candidate for these non-surgical treatments for joint pain. The consultation is completely free.
Weekend appointments available. Call now. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Josh said it's garbage.
I'm so glad that Josh is getting a front row seat.
He said it doesn't work. Chewy, am I right or wrong?
We call that a setup in the biz.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Great Midwest Bank prides itself on being a local bank. They might be small, but their coworkers really understand the local community because they are part of it. Every one of them actually lives here. The customers live just down the street, and Great Midwest Bank gives them customized products and services that others cannot offer. So naturally, after almost 90 years, giving back is an obligation that Great Midwest Bank is proud to provide. Simply giving, simply local, Great Midwest Bank. I've seen some pushback on this idea that Jordan Love wasn't as productive in his second season as he was the first time around. I mean, the numbers back it up, but the pushback obviously entails the injuries that Jordan Love did not use as an excuse, and also the receivers dropping passes. Now, Chew, this to me is like splitting hairs. I know that there are metrics. I know that there are stats that tell you when a receiver drops a catchable ball. But when you look at the issues that the wide receivers had this past year, how do you split the pie? Do you give more blame to the receivers as a whole, or do you give more blame to Jordan Love, who is throwing them the ball?
I mean, how far would the drops move the needle on his completion percentage? What'd you say it was, 61?
63 last year.
63 as compared to what, 70?
During that 8-game stretch, yes.
I mean, the numbers don't lie. I mean, what are people trying to spin here? You know? Everyone's banged up. He just gets more recognition because he's the quarterback. But no one is healthy. right? I mean, when I tore my PCL, I had to play 8 games where I was probably around 90%. That's why you don't blame injuries. You just find a way to work around it. So I don't use the injuries. And what? The drops, is it going to move at 1 percentage point? He was 70 during that stretch, and he's 63.
And just remember, only 1 interception. 18 touchdowns, 1 interception over that final 8-game stretch.
Which, again, I'm not expecting him to do that over an entire season. Like, I'm not expecting for him to go, 36 touchdowns to 2 picks.
No.
That's a hot streak, and you have to factor some of that in, but I want some of that to carry over. And honestly, if I'm looking at all these numbers, and they're fine, they're okay.
Yeah.
But I actually go back to that conversation we were having earlier, Chew. I want that third down percentage to go up. Because if that third down percentage goes up, which was 39.5 last year, 15th in the league, that was their conversion rate on third down. If that percentage goes up, A, he's getting more opportunities, and B, those numbers are going to go up because he's being more successful on the money downs. Like third down, every once in a while you're going to have your 3rd and 1s, your 3rd and 2s, where you turn around, you hand it off to Josh Jacobs, and he's just going to be a battering ram and continue the drive that way. But so many times when we're talking about the top-end quarterbacks, they're making big-time throws on 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8. And that's where, again, it's tougher to be successful in those spots. But if Jordan Love is successful in those spots and that third down percentage goes up, everything else is going to fall into line in terms of his stats, the team stats, points per game, and efficiency. I kind of start there of, all right, let's get that number up over 40%. Let's get this offense a top 10 offense in terms of converting third downs.
I think when it comes to running, I think LaFleur is putting the restrictor plates on him. I don't think it's Jordan. So LaFleur's got to pivot. On a 3rd and 6, it's man. Hey, don't be afraid to run. Just keep moving the chains. If you don't have it and you see a lane where you can get 6 yards and you're on your second read and you like it but you don't love it, tuck it and run. Just move the chains. That's it. And I think that'll make a big difference. Because everyone else is doing it, Gabe. Not everyone, but a lot of quarterbacks.
But a lot of the top guys, Chew. Your point is well made.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of stuff to get to in the second hour of the show, including Top 8 at 8, where I always do really well.
Domination, really.
Stick around.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
We've got definitely a heavy ride right now. Backups on northbound 4394 starting from Lapham all the way through the Marquette, all the way up to about Keefe. So heads up with that. We got the southbound side slowing way down from just before Hampton all the way down past Locust. Westbound 94 delays from 17th Street all the way to about 76th Street. Then back on the brakes from the zoo into the county line. Northbound 41 slowing down from Watertown Plank Road all the way up past Capitol Drive, pretty much all the way up to Hampton. Traffic is brought to you by Fisco Auto Body. Call Fisco Auto Body to help with all body repair needs. Fisco. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, partly cloudy skies, a few afternoon pop-up showers, a high of 65 tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 52. Weather is brought to you by Big Frog Custom T-shirts and more. Easy and affordable apparel personalization with no minimums and fast turnaround for all your printing needs. BigFrog.com/Mequon. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Whether you're a local who wants to enjoy a night out or you're planning to visit Milwaukee, enjoy an artfully stylish experience at St. Kate the Arts Hotel, conveniently located in the heart of downtown Milwaukee's Theater District. With deluxe accommodations, culinary creativity, on-site art galleries, artist in residence, and nightly live music, you'll enjoy every element of your stay at St. Kate. Learn more and book your stay at stkatearts.com.
Hey, it's Kyle Walsh for Universal Windows Direct. May is officially the kickoff to home improvement season, and now is the time to tackle those big projects you've been putting off. Right now, during the home improvement season sale, you'll get an incredible 50% off your windows. But it gets even better. For a limited time, you'll get no interest and no payments for 12 months, and you'll receive a free entry door with your window purchase. Call 414-410-2000 or visit universalwindowsdirect.com to schedule your free in-home estimate today.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman from KBN. Tune in to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman every day from 2 to 5. WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Because Gabe, I imagine when you go to a restaurant, Gabe, and things aren't great, you're saying it was wonderful.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to return this. You're returning used fruit? Jerry, this peach is subpar.
If something's bad, I want to get out of there as soon as possible.
But are you going to let them know that it's bad so that they can improve it for the next person?
They're not going to improve
or are
anything.
You like,
once I put that fruit out, that's where it is for me.
What, it's still your fruit? You got to stand behind your fruit?
Hey, I stand behind my fruit.
So?
Hey, you get a bad peach? That's an active guy.
but I think you can say, and I have said, hold on, hear me out. I want you to hear the nuance in what I'm about to deliver. I did not enjoy it.
You know, this whole place is going downhill. I could have come in here last week with a bad plum, but I let it go.
Well, I had a perfect solution for you. Take your business elsewhere.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamorro. Here's Jen Latta.
Running around, she wants to ride it, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like he wanna fight, he ain't doing nothing but running his mouth, talk about it.
Reaction rolling in as we discuss Jordan Love taking a step forward or backwards. Apparently this is contested. As Jordan Love said, well, we won more games. So how is that taking a step back? What does taking a step back mean? Matt LaFleur weighing in on that yesterday as well when he was asked about his quarterback's production from year 1 to year 2. Take a listen to the head coach.
I think it's funny. I think there's like a narrative out there that for whatever reason that he wasn't as productive as the year before. Well, I mean, he missed significant time. He missed the better of 3 games. Really, it was Indy, it was Tennessee. He went out in Jacksonville, and then he went out in Chicago. So 3 games is a significant amount of time.
Sure, but I can also break that down on a per-game basis for him if you'd like to see that. I mean, that's kind of the easy one to point out. When you take a look at Jordan Love on a per-game basis, like all the numbers are down across the board. Like the completion percentage is down. He went from 244.6 yards per game to 225.9 yards per game. The interceptions, he had threw 11 interceptions in 17 games, threw 11 interceptions in 15 games. So the interception percentage, that's up.
Why do they fight it? Why do they fight it? I mean, because the numbers ultimately don't lie.
Yeah. I mean, the touchdown percentage ends up going up. But again, it's also not even basing off of Jordan Love complete what he did in 2023. It's about those last 8 games. It's about what we saw. And Pro Football Focus has a big time throw statistic. That percentage also down from a year ago. So again, all these numbers, I can break it down on a per game basis if that's what Matt LaFleur wants. But he wasn't as successful. He's still fine. But that's the level that in which he played last year is not a level that's going to get you to a Super Bowl unless you've got a ton of studs around you.
Correct.
Let's go into the comments on the Carbless talk and text line because I liked a lot of things that people are saying. Dave from Aaron says, if Love can be around 40 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 4,000 passing yards, but add 300 rushing yards, which he wasn't able to do last year, I think he will be in the top 6 of quarterbacks. And it is interesting, guys, because I got the quarterback stats in front of me right here on NFL.com. There is no one guy who excelled in all of those areas, right? Joe Burrow had the most passing yards. He had almost 5,000 passing yards last season, and he had a 70.6 completion percentage. But how were the Bengals? right? You talk about having weapons around you, right? The Bengals obviously underperformed as a team, even though they had Joe Burrow under center. Let's go to Jalen Hurts, who led his team to the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts only had 2,900 passing yards because he runs the ball. Obviously, he's a threat to run. 63.1%. I'm trying to look at some of the other numbers. 25 touchdowns to 11 interceptions for him. So while that 40 touchdown number is nice, the guys who threw more than 40 touchdowns last year, Joe Burrow, Baker Mayfield, Lamar Jackson, scrolling. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, 40 touchdowns is a lot of touchdowns.
Need to be
it's a mixed bag.
30,
it's so many touchdowns. Like, if he throws 40 touchdowns and only has 8 picks, guess what? That dude's an MVP candidate.
And Josh Jacobs was probably hurt because it's more efficient to run around the goal line. The reason the Bengals and Joe Burrow's number, they had one of the worst defenses of all in the NFL. They're playing constantly from behind. So what do you do when you play from behind? You throw the ball a lot more. So you have to put it through some sort of context.
Give me a guy whose performance last year you would like to see from Jordan Love this year, and I'll give you his numbers across the board. Who's the guy? Just from your eye test. You watched him last season, you went, that's a guy who did all the things right and can lead his team to the playoffs. Who is it?
That's realistic again.
Is it Jared Goff?
Jared Goff.
46.29 as far as passing yards go. 72.4 completion percentage. 37 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. For a 111.8 passer rating.
Yeah, being that would be nice, but he doesn't even have to be that good. I don't think. See, the things that when we got the stat sheets, because you get this printout after the game, right? The first thing you look at for an offense is third down percentage. And I don't know, Holmgren had this weird number of 39. We have to be 39% on first. I don't know if that's changed because the game is different. I would imagine it's a little higher.
On third down?
Yes. So then my eyes would go to red zone efficiency. How many times did we score touchdowns instead of kicking field goals? And then the next thing I would go to are my stats. I'm just being honest here. That's where I would go.
What did I
But those
do
are
in
the
this
two.
game?
And I would think a quarterback would go completion percentage, obviously interceptions to touchdowns. He would also look at red zone efficiency. And those were the big numbers. Everything else is just kind of fluff.
So just so you know, Chewy, last year the Tampa Bay Buccaneers led the league in third down conversion rate, 50.9%.
That's crazy. Oh, and the other thing that we would look at is total yards. So when I played, anything over 350 was a good game. Anything under 350 really didn't play too well. So those are the markers that we would look at when we get the printout. And he should do the same.
Again, I think you can manipulate numbers. Aaron Rodgers last season, guys. Do we think that Aaron Rodgers had a good year last year?
No.
Okay,
not by his standards.
Correct. No. But Aaron Rodgers had 38, almost 3,900 passing yards. He had 28 touchdowns to 11 interceptions for a 90.5 passer rating. If Jordan Love put those numbers together this season, would you be happy or disappointed?
They need to be better. Again, if you just want to be the 6 or 7 seed, yeah, that's fine. You can be the 6 or 7 seed doing that. But if you want to be a team that's threatening for the division and an actual Super Bowl contender, they got to be better.
So we've got somewhere between Aaron Rodgers and Jared Goff's season last year.
These with this rushing attack that they have, I would take 4,200 total yards, 30 touchdowns to 9 interceptions, and a completion percentage of 68. I would say that's a hell of a year. That's a really good year.
Eerily similar to Lamar Jackson.
I was about to say, suddenly now we're back
Sans
to
the rushing.
We're back to MVP because again, the Ravens were a team that were 31st in the league last year in passing attempts because they had Derrick Henry rushed for over 1,900 yards. So Lamar, despite throwing the ball that little, still going up over 4,000 yards is incredibly impressive. 40 touchdowns, 4 picks. Like, again, if those are the numbers that
that's-
Jordan Love is putting up, that's going to get you into the MVP conversation, which is fantastic. That's exactly where you probably need to get.
But he's been there. He's shown he could do it over that 8-game stretch. That's the thing. Like, it's in there.
But Chew, 8 games ain't 17.
No, I
Doing
know
it consistently over the course of 4 months, that's the really tough part.
Yeah, but the more you do this stuff, Gabe, the better you should get.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The better you should get because things should be more recognizable to you. And then LaFleur, from a play calling standpoint, should be like, all right, I have a pretty good grip on what he can do and what he can't do. So we'll see.
I think here's what I came out of yesterday's availability, and it is early, and I know, Chewy, you are anti-gush. I have a lot of optimism about this team. I have a lot of reasons why I think they can do really good things. There are a few things that give me pause. The strength of the division is one of them. I got somebody weighing in on the Carbless Talk and text line this morning, Brian in the 920, saying, depending how the Vikings quarterback turns out, the Packers could have the worst quarterback in the division for the first time since the 1900s. That to me feels like an overreaction. That to me feels like too far. I have a lot of optimism based on...
When did Caleb Williams pass Jordan Love?
Yeah.
Did I miss that?
know. I was just going to say.
Did I miss that?
Also, was 4-12 Brett Favre not the worst in the division that year?
Worst quarterback?
Yeah.
When they went 4-12.
Who was worse?
I have to go
Well,
on
I mean,
and see record-wise,
but
who else was quarterbacking in the
Brett
division
was
that
still,
year.
Who would you rather have, Brett Favre or Rex Grossman?
How many wins am I getting? Do I get more than 4 wins? Trade him out for a year. It's also like we don't know. Jared Goff performs better. He's not an MVP guy, and that's what we're looking for Jordan.
Well, the
Love.
ceiling, yes, the
Right.
ceiling for Jared Goff,
right?
But right now, Jared Goff is better.
Yeah, proof's in the pudding.
Yeah.
I mean, I just did a quick Google search here, guys. Joey Harrington for the Detroit Lions and Jeff Blake for the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, yeah. The old Tampa Bay.
Feels like I don't even know who Jeff Blake is.
Cincinnati Bengal legend is what he is.
It just feels like maybe, like you said, even though they had a crappy record, still feels like
take my chance with the guy who just threw 29 picks.
Got him by a nose. We'll take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Top 8 at 8 coming up next. Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee is known for its endless ways to win. And Friday, June 27th, they are showing why that's the standard with the highly anticipated season finale blockbuster drawings. Watch your entries from Enchanted Spins, Unreal Treasures, and Boundless Bounty roll into drawings where $300,000 in cash and prizes is up for grabs. Be there to win your share June 27th only at Potawatomi. More information is available online. You must be 21 years old to play.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Northbound on 43, slow from Kilbourne all the way up to Keefe. The southbound side heavy from Hampton down past Locust. We got westbound 94 slowing down right out of the 20th Street area all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. Back on the brakes from just before 84th Street all the way to Sunny Slope Road. Northbound 41 slowing from Watertown Plank Road pretty much all the way up to Hampton Avenue. Southbound slow from Appleton Avenue down past Capitol Drive. And check the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Partly cloudy, a few afternoon pop-up showers, a high of 65 tonight. Partly cloudy, a low of 52. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
This is an ad by BetterHelp.
BetterHelp recently surveyed more than 16,000 people and found that while 75% of people believe it is wise to seek support, only 27% of Americans are actually in therapy, and people stay silent to avoid being judged. BetterHelp has more than 10 years of experience matching you with the right therapist. We are all better with help. Visit BetterHelp.com/timeout for 10% off your first month of therapy today. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/timeout.
Truck drivers, are you tired of an outdated truck hurting your paychecks? At Schneider, we add new trucks to our fleet every year to keep drivers moving and racking up the miles. Our easy-to-use technology is designed to keep you safe and comfortable while also boosting your income potential. So, are you ready to get behind the wheel of a more reliable ride? Find jobs near you and apply now at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
Hi, I'm Brittany Miller from Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and more. Custom T-shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, hats, you name it, we can do it. Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and more is family-owned and all about celebrating life's big moments. Maybe it's a milestone birthday, a celebration for your child's first goal, or that work fundraising event. We are everyone's printer. No minimum orders, affordable designs, and help straight from me and our team. We're the one-stop shop for all your custom needs. Start your project today at bigfrog.com/Mequon.
Stay up to date on the Green and Gold all off season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
Turn your driveway into the basketball court of your dreams with Precision Sports, Southeastern Wisconsin's dealer for Mega Slam, Ironclad, and Dominator hoop systems. From installation to customizable painted court lines, Precision Sports is a slam dunk. PrecisionSportsOnline.com.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
You want more physical harm beset upon people who are trying to earn a living.
I want winners. If someone has to die in order for us to win, then that's the price you pay.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Guys, I'm telling you, if you're making plans to propose to that special someone in your life, do what I did. You hear Chewy and I talk about it all the time. The Jewelry Center, it's the only place to go for that diamond engagement ring. Best place to shop for a reason in Milwaukee for those diamond engagement rings. The reason why I think it is the great, helpful team that they have. Yes, they have unbelievable selection, but that great, helpful team always going to point you in the right direction. If you have an idea, maybe you can just kind of shop and peruse at any one of their 3 locations, Greenfield, Brookfield, or in Burlington. Shop online, shoptjc.com. But if you don't have an idea, go to our Pinterest page, bring in some of those ideas, and that's where that helpful team at the Jewelry Center is not going to steer you wrong. Naturally mined diamonds, lab-grown diamonds, whatever you're in the market for when it comes to an engagement ring, the Jewelry Center has it. Check them out, shoptjc.com. When you head to the Jewelry Center, tell them that Gabe and Chew sent you.
The top 8 at 8.
Name something that follows the word pork. You pine. Huh?
One category.
Name something people take with them to the beach. Turkey.
The top 8 answers.
The first thing you buy in a supermarket. Turkey.
The top 8 at 8.
A food often stuffed. Turkey.
The top 8 at 8 on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Name Popeye's favorite food.
Chicken!
Show me chicken.
The top 8 at 8 on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
What do we got, Gabe?
Brewers have been hot. So we go to the land of the Milwaukee Brewers. List 8 things in front of me. You and Chew guess back and forth. Once you each get one incorrect, sometimes we throw a mulligan in there. We open it up to the fans, 800-990-3776. Whoever gets the last one on the list wins an ESPN Milwaukee prize pack. So with the walk-offs recently, I was thinking and compiled a list. This is the most walk-off hits in the history of American Family Field / Miller Park. So since that building opened, the most walk-off hits, top 8. So
Ryan Braun,
yes.
number 1 with a bullet.
Ryan Braun is tied for first with 8.
Oh, hey. I have vivid memories of many of those. These are walk-off hits.
Walk-off hits. And again, I was just going to qualify. Again, it has to be a base hit. It cannot be like yesterday, Caleb Durbin hit a walk-off sac fly. That is not included in this list. Walk-off sac flies, anything like that has to be a base hit.
Go. I just remembered, Yelly, you said that was his first. Oh, that was his first dinger, though, right?
Walk-off, that was correct. First walk-off.
I would guess
go
Yelly.
Yelly.
Yelich is one of the 4 players tied for 4th with 4.
Wait, what? 4 players tied for 4th?
Yep, with 4.
Whoa.
So
who are the
Yelich
other ones? Wait, time out. Do they count on the list? They're on the list? The ones that are tied?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to give us the whole line of 4.
Why would I do that?
I don't know. I didn't know if that was part of the list. So they are also on the list. Got it.
Correct.
Good
because they're
stall.
tied
Good
for 4th.
stall tactic. That was solid.
I don't need to stall.
Is this the first time you've played this
I
game?
Yes, obviously.
Great
This is the
stall.
first time I've played this game. I think Prince Fielder's got to be on this list.
He is tied for first with Braun. He has 8.
I didn't realize he was tied
walk-off
for first.
hits.
Jeez.
Go Richie Sexton.
Ooh, that's a good guess.
Richie Sexton.
Yeah, it's not Sexton.
Yeah.
We're not Sexton over here.
Richie only had 2 walk-off hits. He is
Oh, darn it.
Not a good guess.
I thought it was going to be on the list. I'm sorry. Prince Fielder, Ryan Braun. Bill Hall.
Bill Hall, 6 walk-off hits, including 3 dingers. He's number 3 on the list.
Who would be tied for 1?
Well, Prince, he said.
Yeah, I just said Prince.
Oh, okay.
I think it's
Third base.
your guess, right, Chew?
I'm out.
Oh, we're not mulliganing?
Because he already got one right. So usually the mulligan comes into play when you've really choked in.
Third base.
I don't know.
Who's on first? Is that what we're doing here? I'm trying to think of guys who would have played at Miller Park. Like a Jeff Jenkins?
There you go.
He's not a third baseman.
Yeah,
but Jeff Jenkins, he is one of those ones with 4, tied with
Nailed
Christian
it.
Yelich.
All right, so how many do we have so far?
You got 5.
Well, that's
Gabe, how don't you know I wasn't referring to when he dislocated his ankle sliding into third base?
Oh, well, I thought
Take
you were
that
talking
back.
about third baseman. I mean, I don't think nobody.
Also, wasn't that second or was it third?
It was third.
Oh,
it was definitely third. But again, when you say third base and you're talking about, like, that'd be like me calling, oh, there's a tackle, and then the answer is you. Well, he used to combo block all the time with the tackle. Why didn't you get that?
It's because I'm a deep thinker. Only deep thinkers get the way I think. All right, I'm out.
How about Jonathan Lucroy?
Jonathan Lucroy just on the outside. Lucroy had 3.
Darn it.
Just outside.
So it's all those 4s
All
that are
those
jamming
4s.
up the bottom half of this list. All right, 800-990-3776. Gabe, go ahead and reset the list while we wait for callers to play Top 8 at 8.
We are looking for the most walk-ups in the history of American Family Field / Miller Park. Ryan Braun, Prince Fielder, tied for first with 8. Bill Hall had 6 walk-off hits. Jeff Jenkins and Christian Yelich had 4 each, leaving 3 more in that T4 slot.
800-990-3776. Looking for you, Brewers fans, to finish our Top 8 at 8 list. We're looking for walk-off hits. Ryan Braun and Prince Fielder lead the category, but a bunch of people tied for 4th with 4. That's why it's tough. It's not like this big glaring number.
Kind of feels like one of those awards where you were just there long enough, you ended up with enough of them. And the guys that separate are the good players.
Yeah, because so Braun has 12 at-bats, so sac flies and things like that, fielder's choice. Prince has 8, and all 8 were hits. Which is just kind of cool. Kind of a cool little note.
Joshy is working the phone
But
lines.
there's no trick names here. I will say that. These are all names that you are very familiar with.
Let's go out to Mike in Waukesha. He's up first on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Mike, can you complete our Top 8 at 8 list?
Would Ricky Weeks be one of them?
Ricky Weeks is one of them. Had 4 walk-off hits.
Disappointed in myself on that one. Mike, you want to keep rolling?
What about Corey Hart?
Corey Hart is another one. 4 walk-off hits for Corey Hart. 3 of his 4 were walk-off home runs.
Good for him.
Leaving just 1 more.
All right. One more. Oh, wouldn't it be Niger Morgan, would it?
It would not be Niger Morgan. Although he had 2 or 3 in the 1 year he was in Milwaukee. He had a lot.
I feel like they did that for one of his bobbleheads. I can picture him
Yeah,
either...
because he had the walk-off hit in the playoff game, in Game 5, that got them to the NLCS back in 2011.
Let's go out to Q in Greenfield. Q, you're up next on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Can you complete our Top 8 at 8 list?
Hey, was Corey Hart back?
Yeah, Corey Hart was said. He was a correct answer, so we're just looking for the last one.
I feel like it'll be somebody older. What about Jeremy Burnett?
Jeremy Burnett's 2 walk-off hits inside American Family Field. That is incorrect. Probably had a couple more because he also played inside County Stadium.
That's what I was thinking. Justin you're up next on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Can you complete our top 8 at 8 list?
Yeah, can you reset it real quick?
All right. Ryan Braun, Prince Fielder tied for first with 8. Bill Hall third with 6. And then a punch here tied for 4 with 4th. Corey Hart, Ricky Weeks, Jeff Jenkins, Christian Yelich, leaving just this name as the last one, T4 with 4.
I'm going to say Bagwell.
Oh, Jeff Bagwell. That's a good guess.
No.
Did he play for the Brewers? I didn't even remember that.
No.
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 Wasn't
In order to have a walk-off hit inside
Yeah.
American Family Field, turns out you need to play for the Brewers.
I wonder if there are any players from the division who would have a requisite, like who had a lot of walk-offs, like a Cub or a Cardinal maybe. But that's not the list we're looking for.
What the hell are you talking about?
He's saying that they played there so frequently because they were in the division and they were a clutch player who hit a lot of walk-offs if they'd be on the list. But I think Gabe's list is exclusively Brewers.
Yeah, but because the only way to walk it off is in the bottom of the inning.
It's true.
You have to play for that team.
Seems like a
David
detail
Ortiz.
we were
David Ortiz.
overlooking.
This is turns out to walk it off, you have to be the home team. Therefore, you have to play for the Brewers. Again, although they did host a couple of series where the Brewers weren't playing, a few times, like when one of the hurricanes had hit down in Florida, but that is not included on this list.
The Carlos Zambrano game?
Yes, correct.
That was famously a no-hitter.
Yeah.
Let's go on to Dana in Bayview. You're up next on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Can you complete our top 8 at 8 list?
Would it be Greg Vaughn?
It is not Greg Vaughn. Greg
Another
Vaughn never
good guess,
played
though.
inside American Family Field or Miller
Still
Park.
was a good guess because he was a Brewer.
He was a Brewer. Hey, it's a step in the right direction, Chew. It is a step in the
Just
right
like
direction.
Jordan Love, apparently. I'm just going to keep guessing killer bees over here. Lance Berkman. Craig Biggio. 800-990-3776. Adam in Cudahy, you're up next on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Can you complete our top 8 at 8 list?
I don't know. I feel like I'm reaching here, but let's go with Lyle Overbay.
Lyle Overbay. I thought he had more, too. Only had 2. 2 walk-offs inside American Family Field.
All right, let's go out to Howard in Sherman Park.
Hey, we're getting closer. Again, baby steps getting closer to the answer.
Howard, you're up next on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Can you complete the top 8 at 8 list?
Probably not, but we'll try. Jamas Ramirez.
Aramis Ramirez had 2 walk-off hits as a member of the Brewers inside AmFam Field.
Getting closer. We're eliminating options. Ben in Franklin. Wow, Ben in Franklin is funny. John and Adams. You're up next on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Can you complete our top 8 at 8 list?
Good morning. Is it Craig Counsell?
Craig Counsell had a lot of walk-off moments. He actually only had 1 walk-off hit. Had a couple sac flies, had an error in there. So Craig Counsell is incorrect.
Let's go out to Josh. Josh, you're up next on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Can you complete our top 8 at 8 list?
Yeah, is it Carlos Gomez?
It is not Carlos Gomez.
I feel like Gabe might have gave a little hint there on accident. Yeah,
I did.
I didn't even hear what he said. Dang
It was just a
subtle.
quick. Yeah, it was subtle, but it was just a quick reaction that I had. So I inadvertently had given a clue there.
I didn't even hear it. I was looking over at the call sheet. Didn't even catch the clue. 800-990-3776. Brandon in Greendale, you're up next on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. We are looking for one more answer on our top 8 at 8 list. Do you have it?
Is it Lorenzo Cain?
It is not Lorenzo Cain. Lorenzo had 1 walk-off hit inside American Family Field.
Tom in Hales Corners. Can you complete our top 8 at 8 list?
Willie Adames?
Willie did not get into this category. I think he had 2 walk-off hits.
This is crazy town. Brandon in Mayville, you're up next on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Keep the phone lines going, guys. It doesn't feel like we are going to nail this anytime soon.
Is it Carlos Lee?
El Caballo, Carlos Lee with 4 walk-off hits, closes out the top 8 today.
The hint was Gabe almost said you're right when Carlos came out for Carlos Gomez.
So I knew it was either a Carlos or a Ramos.
But now I see why Joshy was saying, well, maybe it was somebody who hit a lot of walk-offs from another team, because Carlos Lee obviously played for a long time. Where? Chicago?
Played for the White Sox for a while. Bounced around after he
Wasn't he
with the Brewers.
He was an Astro?
Astro for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. El
Good
Caballo.
list.
Carlos Slinger, 4 walk-off
Good
hits.
list.
I mean, I had fun. Anytime I can
Going
get
down memory lane.
anytime I can get more than one, I'm like, that's a win.
And you got the top 2.
Well, that's from the Chewy school of thought, by the way.
Got the top
9%. That's a win.
Again, it's all about, setting realistic expectations. That's important in goal setting, Jen.
Looking for a home can be a lot of things. Stressful, time-consuming, and expensive, but looking for a home should be an exciting chapter in your life. That's why we work with the We Sell group at Keller Williams. They know this. Their passion is people, and their passion is helping you find the home of your dreams or selling the home that you're currently in. Listen, guys, we have been working with them, and they have been so good with the attention to detail, with giving us options, with narrowing them down. They recognize that buying a home is a big deal and can be a long process, and that is why we feel so good having them with us along for the ride. The We Sell Group's selling process makes sure that the best and most competitive offers are made on your home as well. So get started on your stress-free journey today at wesell.kw.com. That's wesell.kw.com.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Southbound 41, still heavy from Appleton Avenue all the way down past Capitol Drive. Northbound slow from Watertown Plank Road up to Hampton. Southbound 43, also a heavy ride from just before Hampton all the way down past Locust. The northbound side slowing from Kilbourne all the way up to Keefe. And westbound 94, you'll see delays going through the stadium interchange to Mitchell Boulevard and then back on the brakes from 84th Street all the way to the county line. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, partly cloudy skies, a few afternoon pop-up showers, a high of 65. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 52. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Hey, Wisconsin. It's your Green Bay football buddy John Kuhn here, reminding you to buckle up for safety whenever you get in your vehicle. Whether you're driving to work, school, shopping, or to catch the big game, remember, click it or ticket. Buckling up saves lives. Every trip, every time. Don't risk it, guys. It's not worth the ticket or the danger. Click it or ticket. Zero in Wisconsin. Together, we can save lives. Brought to you by Wisconsin Department of Transportation.
Buying and selling a home can be a stressful process. Hey, it's Jen Latta from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. The We Sell group at Keller Williams has a goal of making it stress-free for everyone. Their passion is people. Their availability is unmatched, something I'm experiencing firsthand while I search for a lake home to enjoy Wisconsin summers even more. Rob and Nick are there every step of the way, not just for their sellers, but also to potential buyers and their agents to bring in as many strong offers as possible. Get started today at wesell.kw.com. That's wesell.kw.com.
Thinking about buying or building a new home? Start with a mortgage pre-approval from Great Midwest Bank and experience a state of tranquility. At Great Midwest Bank, we offer fast approvals and flexible options with experienced loan officers who understand the local market, because they live here too. Whether you're breaking ground for new construction or buying that dream home just around the corner, we'll guide you every step of the way. Bank with confidence and start your journey at greatmidwestbank.com. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
Let's talk about Home Turf. Your lawn is a reflection of your pride, hard work, and even competitive spirit. If you want a yard that makes the neighbors stop and stare, you need the right plan. That's where Weedman Lawn Care comes in. Weedman's lawn care program is kid and pet friendly, uses golf course quality fertilizer, and has an effective weed treatment to dominate any issue. Get a free quote of Weedman's winning formula for your yard at weedman.com and get 50% off your first treatment. That's weedman.com. Weedman for the win.
Hey, it's ESPN Milwaukee's Brad Nortman. A big focus in America today is your health. And you can't be fully healthy if you are not physically mobile to do the things you want to do. If you're someone that keeps on experiencing that joint pain, then you need to visit QC Kinetics. When I go to QC Kinetics' Greenfield location, I am amazed at everything that they have to give you your life back and finally fix that pain that you're experiencing. Everything they do is top of the line. From the free consultation where you can get an ultrasound of your joint joints and see what is nagging you in real time to the effective and long-lasting treatments of PRP and stem cells that they offer to give you long-lasting pain relief. Be one of the tens of thousands of other patients who now have a pain-free life because of the treatments they received at QC Kinetics. Call QC Kinetics today for your free consultation. 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
I thought
Salvation
every time
Army.
that they hear their name when it's non-scheduled, that's what they want to hear.
I could hear Ashley laughing in the background.
Am I right or wrong?
He's not wrong. Hey, he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
He is wrong.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Chewy.
Yeah.
How do you feel about turkey?
The country or the bird?
That's exactly the question I was hoping that you would ask, my friend. In this case, I am referring to the country. Because turkey, well, they are putting their foot down. They are locking things up. In Turkey, passengers who get out of their seat on an airplane before the plane has stopped taxiing or crowd the aisle before it's their row's turn will now face fines.
I love it. I've been to Turkey. Istanbul is the nicest airport in the world, or at least the nicest I've ever been to. And I can tell you this, Europeans are much more efficient in loading and deplaning than Americans are.
Okay.
I mean, they get on, they sit down, they get their bags up. When the flight lands, they're moving. They're moving. I just find it much more efficient. And I think this is evidenced by it, right? They want to get up, get out, and move along.
Well, so apparently there were issues. There were a lot of people who were disregarding the rules. Now, again, these are social rules, right? There's no rule that says...
Not anymore.
Well, that's what I was going to say is they have taken it up a notch now by making it doctrine, if you will. And I got to say, man, you really must be screwing up. You really must be effing up in order for some committee to decide, you know what we got to get a handle on? Deplaning. Deplaning is a mess right now, Gabe. We need to stop this madness. We need to put rules in place. We're going to fine them. We're going to find the people who don't recognize that you are supposed to go row by row by row, and that by standing up in the middle of the aisle when you're in 26 does no good.
I mean, you guys travel more than I do. You guys are Chewy's flying back, back and forth. Jen, you got to travel all the time for stories. Like, yeah, I travel 2-3 times a year tops. Sometimes it's not even at all. I'd love to see this here. I'd love to see American Airlines or Southwest go. Yeah, we're gonna get a handle on this now. We're gonna if it works out in Turkey, let's do it here. That you could get fined if you just don't follow what the protocols are, so we can get on and off this plane in a timely and organized fashion.
So it sounds like we, the collective, would be more inclined to use an airline like this. Do you think that most people would? Like Southwest is going through something right now, Chew, where they are now adding bag fees, right? Forever it was bags fly free, but now they're not going to fly free anymore. And people have said, well, I'm not flying Southwest anymore. And I'm going, but now you got to pay for bags everywhere else. It's not like there's some other airline where you're not paying for bags. So for those who are saying that they are boycotting Southwest because they are now just catching up with everyone else, it's weird logic. I don't get it. In this instance, are you more likely to fly an airline that has punishments, is penalizing this type of behavior, or are you less likely to fly an airline that is punitive in this way, Chew?
I think I'd be more likely to fly the airline. See, when I fly, I don't try to be a hindrance to anyone else. Get my bag and go. And I told you guys when I flew down here, I don't know, last week, I mean, there's a lady who's next to get off the plane is talking to a friend of hers in the seat in our row for a good... I'm like, what are you doing? People want to get off the plane. People don't give a crap other than themselves. Even when I go to the grocery store, I'm like, am I to the side? Can people get by me? Is my cart in the way so they get... People are just like, isn't it lovely? You know? I think that's great. They should do it. And I would fly that airline more if they did find people for being
I think it's
stupid.
Important to make a distinction here. Every Turkish airline is now going to be levying these
So it's
fines.
a government thing.
It's a governmental thing. Like their Department of Transportation, whatever they call it there, has deemed it such an issue. It kind of feels like it might just be a pet project of the person running it. But I think the result is mostly good, unless you start to want to be concerned about governmental overreach. But other than that, like, it's crazy that we've gotten to a spot where we've had to have somebody step in and say, hey, abide by the social norms, please.
Yes.
Be considerate of other people. Be considerate of the people around you, and don't treat the world like it is just your oyster and you're able to do whatever you want, how you want.
So is it on the airline staff then? Is it up to the stewardesses to go, okay, well, person sitting over there in C5, they were kind of getting up a little bit earlier, and you're just kind of jotting notes down of who's violating these protocols?
I suppose. I read a little bit of the article. They didn't detail how it fully was going to be executed. But yeah, I would imagine it is on the people on the plane to then report back to the people who are able to.
Well, on some level, guys, this is not just an inconvenience. It is a safety issue because according to the article on USA Today, the passengers are standing in the aisle and opening the overhead compartments before the plane has even gotten to the gate. So the plane is still moving, and they are up out of their seats, and they are reaching for luggage that if they mishandle could fall on someone's... I mean, like, we're talking about legitimate safety.
Yeah.
Or you hit the brakes real quick, and all of a sudden that person goes flying. Then, like, there's a part of it that's like, hey, they don't just do this arbitrarily. Some of this is literally for your safety and the safety of your fellow passengers. But you're right. My question to you is this. So Turkey's doing it. Is that enough of a deterrent, Turkey doing it, to keep people in the States from stepping out of line? Because the thought process could be, well, this could be next, and we could be next, and they could start doing this here.
I mean, throughout the course of the 5 years we've been doing this show, there have been, how many different airline stories of people just not giving a rip about anybody else around them, right? And I can't imagine that those people, the ones that are being the most inconsiderate, are even aware of this story, that are even aware that Turkey is going to be doing something like this, or a country can even do something like this. For whatever reason, in this country, we just lose all sense of everything when we hop on an airplane or go to an airport. It is crazy town to me that people just kind of lose all of that sense when they head into an airport.
What do you think that is? Do you think it's just an uncomfortable situation, Chew, and so people's nervous systems just go awry? They just go,
no. I think people generally, all they care about is themselves.
Yep.
That's it. They care less, you know? If I want to take my shoes off, I can on the plane. If I want to talk on my phone with the speaker on, I can. If I want to watch a movie without headsets in, I can.
Well, and a lot of airplanes have made that a rule, too. Now when I get on the airplane, they are announcing, and please remember that if you choose to watch your entertainment on your personal device, you must be wearing headphones or we will...
Jen,
come
but
by.
do you really need to be told that?
It's amazing to me. You would think
do you
no.
really need to be
But
told
every blue-haired lady I see walking down the aisles of the grocery store or Marshall's talking on their speakerphone indicates yes. Indicates yes.
It's selfishness. The important thing here to realize is in a flight or in a train or on a bus is where all this stuff happens. And what are we doing there? We're interacting with other people in a situation we typically wouldn't. So it becomes such a glaring issue because you realize some people live like heathens. They have no concern
They
for
don't
anyone
care.
else. Right.
Yeah.
You're forced to commingle in these situations where there are social norms and behaviors that are accepted and not accepted. And they just become so glaring because on a plane now I have 300 other people and 5 of them are going to be acting a fool. That's just how people are.
And let me tell you another thing, all right? When I get on a plane, I'm probably in the top 5% is the biggest guy on the plane. And I refuse to put my seat.
Who are you flying with, Giannis?
Yeah.
Who are the other people?
Well, all right, top two.
I think it's safe to
Okay.
say, yes, you're in the 1 percentile there, pal.
And I do not put my seat back because I think it's rude.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. I just think it's rude. And you have these idiots on there, that just like keep leaning back, because they don't care. God, I wish I lived in the Wild West.
You just pull out your 6-shooter? What are we talking about here?
pal.
Duels?
Yeah, because here's the problem with you and duels.
Die from diarrhea?
You're just a large target for duels, bud. Like, I don't know if you're. I mean, yeah, you probably have your fair share that you won, but
Gabe,
you're
I'm
a bigger
stealthy.
guy.
I am stealthy.
But a duel, like you're just pacing in the middle of town, like there's nothing for you to hide behind. Guy's just got a bigger target to shoot at.
He's like Shaq hiding behind the tree in that meme. That's what you are, buddy.
You're also like 500% more likely to die from dysentery. So is that worth it?
Oh, in the Wild Wild West?
Yes.
Will Smith?
There's nothing like a good clean out, though, Joshy.
I don't think dysentery is good for that.
Nope.
Somebody didn't play enough Oregon Trail when they were growing up, and it shows.
Let's put it on the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Twitter poll, the Infinity Exteriors Twitter poll. Are you in favor of airlines fining people who get out of their seat before it is their row's turn or who are up out of their seat while the plane is still moving? Let us know on the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Infinity Exteriors Twitter account.
There's no better time to upgrade your windows and doors than right now, because Pella Windows and Doors is offering up to 6 years of 0% financing. And of course, I was going to take advantage of 6 years, 0% financing. My wife and I moved into the house, been looking, okay, do we need to replace that front door? I don't know if Pella's going to be offering 6 years, 0% financing. Got to take advantage. Had their team come in for a free in-home consultation, committed to nothing, kind of went through the different options, found a door and a style that we really liked for our house, and we made that dream of what that should look like become a reality. And now we're getting 0% financing for up to 6 years. Certain restrictions apply. Deal ends May 31st, coming up quick, May 31st, 2025. So visit PellaWI.com today.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
At Potawatomi, where ways to win are endless, another chance to capture epic cash and prizes comes Friday, June 27th. It's the season finale blockbuster drawings. Watch your entries from Enchanted Spins, Unreal Treasures, and Boundless Bounty come together for drawings where $300,000 in cash and prizes is there for the taking. Be there to win your share. June 27th only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. More info online. Must be 21 years old to play.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text BODY to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text BODY to 321-321. That's BODY to 321-321.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Evan Cohen here. Picking a place to build a life is a lot like selecting a draft pick. Make a decision that will set you up for long-term success. Pick Wisconsin. In Wisconsin, you'll find dynamic career opportunities, beautiful seasons, affordable living, and legendary weekends. From its high quality of life and great schools to its fine arts, culinary, and pro sports scenes, Wisconsin gives you so much to look forward to. That's why you should pick Wisconsin. Learn more about making Wisconsin your home. Visit pickwisconsin.com.
Hey, Wisconsin, it's construction season, and the Wisconsin DOT wants to help you safely navigate work zones in your area. Check 511wi.gov or download the free 511 app to see current road work, closures, detours, and camera views on your route. Wherever your travels take you, know before you go with 511wi.gov. That's 511wi.gov. And remember, know before you go. Always park the phone while driving. Sponsored by the Wisconsin DOT.
Baseball is back. Brian Balaga here to bring you a proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. A delicious and perfect pairing for a day at the ballpark. Stocked at American Family Field all season long. Surfside is only 100 calories per serving, and the best part, 0 bubbles. Ask for it at your local bar or liquor store. Surfside, an official partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Must be 21 years of age. Please drink responsibly.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
What was a rebound? What did you just say?
Robust.
Robust.
You could say robust. Doesn't robust sound like a nice word of saying just a click below fat?
No, buddy, you're not fat.
Well,
you're
there's
rebound.
Well, Charles Barkley.
There's another
round mound of rebound.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Here we go.
This is an ad by BetterHelp for Mental Health Awareness Month. BetterHelp surveyed 16,000 people actually, across 23 countries for its first ever State of Stigma report. They found that while 75% of people recognize the value of seeking support and therapy, only 27% of Americans are actually doing it. BetterHelp is trying to change those numbers. With more than 35,000 therapists available, they are the world's largest online therapy platform, having served more than 5 million people globally. It is convenient, too. You can join a session with the click of a button, and it will fit into your busy life, and you can switch therapists at any time. We are all better with help. Visit BetterHelp.com/timeout, and you'll get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/timeout. We didn't even get to Xavier McKinney talking about Jair. I guess we spoke briefly about Jair with Jason Wilde this morning. Maybe we didn't. Holy moly. So the Jair Alexander situation continues to linger on, but Xavier McKinney did come to his, I don't want to say defense. I don't know if he needs a defense, but basically saying, like, they've been working out, they've been talking, he wants him on the team. Gabe, does that endorsement change your position at all of whether or not you think he will be on the roster?
No, because whatever the players have to say, I think rarely have factored into what Brian Gutekunst does. Because how many guys loved Aaron Jones, wanted Aaron Jones on the team? Mm-hmm. Still got a low ball contract offer. Aaron Rodgers, very vocal in his support for Charles Woodson, Jordy Nelson. Deuces, guys, not even worth a conversation. So rarely do whatever the players say factor into what the GM does.
Agree. It's the only thing he could say. What's he going to say? Hey, look, the guy's a jerk. Don't sign him.
Well, but they are. He did say that they've got a really good personal relationship. That they've become pretty close in his time in Green Bay.
Every day that this passes, Chew, I feel more confident that he is going to be on this team starting at corner in the fall.
I do not. I go the other way. The offer couldn't have been good enough, or like Gabe said yesterday, it would have been signed already. It's not. They're shopping it. In which would lead, you think it's a lowball offer. I would think someone might jump at it if it's $6 million guaranteed. I mean, I would, because I still think he's that good a player.
The conversation continues on Wilde and Tausch right now on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee.
We've got some slowdowns in Waukesha County. East